Hey, what's up, folks? Anderson Shines here with the League of Prestigious Gentlemen, and thank you very much for watching this video. Today, I'm going to be talking about something I call the Great Confusion. This is in the aspect of relationships. Oftentimes, you'll hear people say, I want to marry my best friend, and I am here to add some distinction between that. Most men, most masculine gentlemen don't think to marry their best friend. And I'm going to tell you why. But first, I'm going to show you a video that I posted online. It's a short video. It's about 2 minutes. And I posted it on Instagram, TikTok, the other social media. So if you're not following us there, do make sure you follow us on Instagram, make sure you follow us on TikTok, and make sure you follow us on YouTube. I post short videos and the long form videos on YouTube, of course. But I'm going to show you this video. It's about almost 2 minutes. And I made the comment that us men, we do not want to marry our best friend. So let's take a look at that video. And I'm going to dissect that video by showing you some slides. And I'm going to add distinction. Oftentimes in a relationship, the information between male and female can get convoluted. And I want to add some distinction. Neither one's wrong. It's just how we see it in our head. This video got over 10,000 views on one platform in one day. So let me show it to you right now. So let's take a listen as I play this. Ready? Here we go. Here's where 90% of people get it wrong when it comes to gentlemen and their relationships. Listen closely because I'm about to give you keen insight on how gentlemen think. Ready? Here we go. Gentlemen don't want to be best friends with their women in relationships. Stay here. I'm going to tell you why. We hear women saying they want to marry their best friend, but you never hear a masculine gentleman ever saying, I want to marry my best friend. I'm not saying that the two couldn't and shouldn't be amiable, but when it comes to marrying our best friend, that's not how we think. Women want a guy that they feel they can say anything to, go anywhere with, and share their feelings with openly. But as for a gentleman, that is not our primary position. Our primary position is that we want somebody who's respectful, we want somebody who's feminine, and most importantly, we want somebody who is somebody that we can consider to be our lover. And for a masculine gentleman, that does not constitute being a best friend. Now, here's why men don't consider women to be their best friend in relationships. If you were a fly on the wall and you heard a gentleman addressing his best friend in a conversation, outside ears listening in, you might think they were downright derogatory and or had conflict with one another. But they don't. That's just how masculine men address one another. That's it. And truth be told, a gentleman wouldn't want to talk to his woman like he does his best friend. A true gentleman doesn't want to just go anywhere and any place with his woman. A true gentleman does not want to share his feelings openly about any and everything with his woman. And that's why men don't consider women in their relationships to be their best friend. It's not wrong, it's just different. And accepting the difference will have you get a better understanding of how gentlemen operate in relationships. That's keeping it LPG. Simple, right? Not so much, because a lot of comments have come through, and I've had other conversations with people outside of the video regarding this particular one, even yes, in one day. And it still has its place for a gentleman. Now, most men would agree. Most women may not agree. But again, I'm here to add some distinction so the two can come together. It's not about one being right. It's not about one being wrong. It's about how can we come together and get a complete understanding of how the other person thinks in the relationship. And through this whole entire month, I'm going to be talking about, that is our whole mantra, our whole opportunity for talking about this subject matter is relationships for the entire month. This is one aspect. So each week I will be producing a short video, and I'm also going to do a reaction from my own video, right? So here's what we have here. The Great Confusion, why marrying your best friend is fading attraction. Now, the main thing for a guy here is to maintain the attraction level, and for women as well. So some of these things are going to be synonymous for both sides, or it should be apropos for both sides. So maintaining attraction is about, for a guy, is not becoming the best friend. And in fact, when we start looking at the misunderstanding that quietly breaks that dynamic, is blurring the lines between friendship and the romantic side, the romantic tension, the romantic opportunity for the relationship. And that's the way it should sustain over time. I am under the impression that if these lines are blurred way too much, eventually you just live with your roommate, and no guy wants to room with his roommate, and a woman shouldn't want that either. So while many women prioritize emotional openness, and I mentioned this in the video, and shared expression, a gentleman prioritizes respect, alignment, and clear masculine and feminine roles, so feminine and masculine dynamic. Nothing wrong with that. And they operate under those two umbrellas for the male, masculine, female, then you'll have a relationship that can work. And there are certain opportunities, I call it the 7 gates of how you can utilize this over time and make sure that you are sustaining for the long-term relationship. Now, this has been something that has been researched, and it shows that, and this comes from the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, shows that couples that have the clear distinction, the differentiation from the male and female role, 23% higher long-term attraction levels compared to those with blurred relational lines into friendship alone. Women have the opportunity to friend zone men. Men will stay, some men, not gentlemen, they will stay in that friend zone until the opportunity avails itself, not understanding that the attraction has long since dissipated and also even disappeared. And so they wait for that opportunity for the boyfriend to mess up. They wait for that opportunity where she feels like she wants to be in a relationship. They wait for the opportunity. And to me, that's just wasted time. You can utilize that time better. But either way, that mitigates the level, it already has mitigated the level of attraction, being in the friend zone. No guy, if you have a romantic interest, wants to be in the friend zone. So I, again, talking about this and elaborating, have many, many conversations, even also having direct lived experience, most guys do, that why best friend can kill that attraction energy. In order for the relationship to work, there must be the attraction energy on both sides. What we call genuine desire, genuine attraction. And if that's there or it's gone, then you've lost contact with what really makes the relationship work. Now, understanding how this works here, before I get into this here, let me explain this. Many people, again, I want to reiterate this, many guys are unfortunately positioned in the friend zone. And you have to understand that the attraction has already gone to the wayside when you're in the friend zone. There's really no getting it back. Very, very rarely. I've never heard a situation where that has translated into a successful relationship after that, because in her mind is already a thought process of how she sees you, and how to see you differently is going to be mitigated or not even or non-existent. Now, you'll see movies that translate that into a relationship, and oftentimes I believe that's why guys stay there if they're watching some romantic rom-com, which most guys typically don't want to watch. But having the understanding to see these two paradigms right here, there's a friendship paradigm and then there's a gentleman paradigm. Again, applying distinction. Okay, I'm not saying either one is wrong, but for relationship, for a gentleman, he's only going to be on what we have the gentleman paradigm versus the friendship paradigm. Let's talk about the two. First of all, we talk about access. Access is key in a relationship, meaning that there shouldn't be too much access. You have to have that time to have the heart grow fonder by what? Missing the other person. So if you get full, unfiltered access at any point in time, they don't have that. You don't maintain that tension or that what we call the calibrated attentional access for a man, and that's important for a gentleman to really have that working for him. The other side of it's here talking about prioritizes sameness and comfort. This, if you get too comfortable in a relationship, and this is where people really mess up and start to have the downscaling opportunity for attraction, is that they get too comfortable on both sides, men and women. And when you get too comfortable because you have too much access at times, what happens is the verbiage and how you treat the person changes over time. There's an influx of disrespect in the conversation when a gentleman is always about respect. It's not that we have to force respect. It's that respect, we understand that it's earned, and it's earned on both sides. And when that mitigates, when the respect is mitigated because of too much access and the sameness and the comfort, then this is where we start to have conflict and tension. And gentlemen, we don't want to fight with you, with our women. We don't want to fight with you at all. We want to come home to a peaceful environment, and that constitute understanding that there's a level of respect there. Let me come home, let me breathe, let me chillax for a bit. Just ask me to start doing things, the same thing for the guy. There has to be some balance there. That's up to the couples to talk about that. Okay, here we go. Blurs the relational boundaries when you have the friendship opportunity. We'll talk about relational boundaries, again, getting into the level of respect and openness that we have with one another. A gentleman in his wolf pack may talk a little bit more about their emotions, but it's not that much of an opportunity for a gentleman to express that. Because why? Because that also can mitigate attraction. They may say some things in their head that they may not say to you openly out loud. I saw a video the other day when this lady was saying, "Oh yeah," and she was talking to herself. It was one of the two light bulb one format. I forgot what it was called. Two light bulb, one person, whatever. But she was talking to herself with different clothing, and one she was playing herself a guy, and playing herself as a woman. And the woman was saying, "Oh, you can be open. You can be very open to me and talk about your relationship." He started talking about something, and she was saying in his head, "Well, this guy is gay. This guy is a little bitch," right? Saying these things in her head. Say, men need to understand that. Men need to understand, period, and gentlemen do, that people say things in their head, and it's us giving them the opportunity to think those things. Because the more you're in front of them and you showing your level of confidence, competence, and other aspects, your presence, they make perceptions. They form perceptions in their head. And that's key. All right, so blurs the lines. And then also on the other side, as gentlemen, I didn't give it the second point here, prioritize polarity and respect. I said that. And the third point, lead the role with clear boundaries. No, gentlemen, we take the role that we are the leader. We're the protector. We're the provider. That's all well and good. Something happens, guess what? We're the frontline defense, especially if it threatens our women. We're the frontline defense. And many other protection things that we do on a consistent daily basis that are on all the time. It never shuts off, right? So we want to maintain that level of respect. But again, the lines can get blurred, and then it dilutes romantic tension. You have to have that romantic tension. How do you maintain the romantic attention? A gentleman actively builds and sustains that tension by making sure there's also structure in the relationship, making sure there's respect and there's a maintain the level of respect, making sure that we do show how that we do love her, kissing on her and hugging her and all these other things. And that's reciprocated with respect to the gentleman, towards the gentleman, of how she speaks to him. This is how we see it, women. If a woman's watching, this is how we see it. And having the understanding of where our mindset comes from is going to avail a better opportunity for a more genuine and solidified relationship. And that's what it's all about. Can we have this genuine, solidified relationship when it comes to us moving forward and growing, even producing offspring? But before we get into that, we have to have this, most gentlemen, we want to have this clear foundation. That's what I'm talking about, not just in this video, but I'm talking about the entire month of how what I call the 7 gates are open. You can open these 7 gates, and before you go through them, there are certain opportunities to vet the person correctly. It starts with the looks, but most guys, because we're visual, we get hung up on the looks, and we reside there for a period of time, and we tend to ignore certain other things that may transpire, and that's where the opportunity avails itself. Now, here we have lover over label. What label is that? The lover over the label of a friend or a best friend. We don't want to be best friends. I want to be your lover, and I want you to see me in the same way. Best friends, again, as I said in the video, you hear us talk to one another. You may think that we are downright derogatory, that there's some conflict there. No, that's just the way us masculine men address one another. It's just the way we talk. Locker room talk, as we say. And every guy knows and feels it. So if you have two guys at a table, and this is how the shift happens on that. Two guys at a table, and we're talking how we talk to boys. If our women come and sit down with us, let's say they're coming in, or they're shopping or whatever, they come to see it, they meet up with us, the whole conversation changes because there's a level of respect that's always there. There's a level of respect that we don't want our women to hear even from one another. It has nothing to do with talking about other women. It has everything to do with how we relate to and talk to one another. So as we see here, the primary role a gentleman assigns in his relationship is not the best friend. The primary role, how we see it, is I want to be your lover. Ultimately, that's what I want to be. I don't want to be friends. I want to be friends with benefits unless that's an arrangement. Sometimes that's necessary or even apropos. But I want to be your lover. If we're going to be in a relationship, I want the main reason why guys are in a relationship, even so to the point to get married, is for sexual access. Let's just be blunt about it. We're adults talking here. The main reason, one of the top 3 reasons, if not the main, but I challenge that it is the main, one of the top 3 reasons that a man gets into a relationship with a woman is for sexual access to that woman. That's how we connect. You women, you connect emotionally. So we, as guys, we understand that has to be par for the course and that we have to learn that side of it also, so you can get what you want and I can get what I want. We understand that there's a coming together. The emotional aspect of there, the sexual aspect can happen. And it can also happen in reverse. Us guys is more so that way. We get the sex and then the emotion connects. So the two parties have to be able to come together and talk and say, okay, we can work this out together. But for the most part, this includes emotional connection. But yes, also, as I'm going to show you here, this graphic here, architectural pillars of attraction. There are levels of attraction to make sure that it sustains over time. Number 1, for us guys, respect. For most women, you focus on the love aspect of things. I'm going to zoom in here. Us guys, we're big on respect. I would rather you, and most guys would probably have the same sentiment, I'd rather you show me respect, and that's how you show that you love me. That's what's just most guys when it comes to having that opportunity to juxtapose the two and have them side by side comparison. Us guys, we have respect. We want the respect. Talk to me. You can't say anything to me. Stay in your lane, right? And not in a negative way. But can't just say anything to me out of disrespect. And us guys, we come from the notion, we teach this in our courses, that we teach people how to treat us. We teach people how to communicate with us. So the respect level for a guy is utmost. The second thing that we talk about is alignment. So the structural walls moving from in the same direction without occupying the exact same space. I mean that we can grow together. We may have the same values. We may have some personality quirks here may be the same, but also the difference is also the attractor as well. But the opportunity to have alignment in order for a long-term relationship to transpire, there does have to be alignment for values and alignment for principles, alignment for future opportunities that we can grow into together. Kids, getting a house, where we may live, all these other aspects. Some of this can be negotiated, but compromising them is where we take a stand. We still want that alignment. Third thing is the polarity, the roof, the masculine, feminine contrast that generates the energetic charge. That's that. We want that understanding there. We want that to transpire. We want that to always be there. So we look at respect, the foundational floor, right? When we look at the alignment, the structural walls, look at the roof of the polarity, understanding how that comes together as our structure to maintain something that's solid. But the foundation, respect for us. The foundation for women, so is that emotional connection. So ultimately, guys, we want the sexual aspect, and women, they want what? They want the provision, they want the protection, they want to feel safe. That's their primary objective. Feeling safe feeling provided for, feeling like they're loved. Projection for guy, feeling respected, sexual access. Neither one's wrong. They're just different. And this is what that's why I'm making this video. Just understand there's a difference. There's a distinction that we put on those two opportunities. And to have that be part of how we deliver our message and integrate our relationship and create and maintain the tension, this is just something that we do. It's not, again, it's not, neither one's wrong. And this is where the picture gets painted, especially a lot of the talk shows and a lot of information that's out there right now is that this is wrong, men bad, masculinity bad, women right, women all good, yeah, everything should be done like women. No, we're different. Our energy is different. Our mindset's different. Our brain's wired differently. We have different genitalia. We have different body types. So men and women are not the same. Equal value, of course, but they're totally different. We are totally different. There are many aspects that we can go down the rabbit hole and talk about the difference in the similarities between the two. But that's not what this video is all about. Now let's redefine what we were talking about to understand the connection point that we want. So I have this little graph here that I created. And on this x-axis here, we have boundaries and structure, loose to firm. Okay. And then on the y-axis, we have the emotional alignment, disconnected versus deeply connected. And there are 4 quadrants here because there's 4 types of people that 4 buckets we put people in. The people that we don't know, the strangers, disconnected, loose boundaries, loose structure, I should say. There's no structure. There's no need for structure. I don't know you from a can of paint. You don't know me from Adam. And therefore, there's no connection. And it's there's really no structure either. Now we get into somebody that we understand and that we know. We get into the acquaintance aspect. Still a little bit disconnected, but now we have some structure there, right? I know this guy. We're respectful to one another. And when we come and collaborate, we talk and everything else, right? And then we get into the best friend. The best friend that we have there's a deep connection opportunity there. Oftentimes it's cultivated over an extended period of time, but there's also loose structure. We'll have these structure. We can say anything to one another. And this is where women differ from guys in the best friend aspect. Guys, we talk, locker room talk, we can say anything to one another. Women, there's the lover aspect of things. For women, there's the lover. This is where we put women in this category. Guys aren't in this category for masculine gentlemen. No room for that. You stay over there, best friend. We're not getting over to the lover side. This is maintained for one person, one person only, and that's the person that we choose to be in a relationship with. So we do have a deep connection, but there's also firm structure. How we operate with one another, not coloring outside the line so that we become more rude and disrespectful. We're going to maintain that structure over an extended period of time until we are no longer together, till death do us part kind of thing, right? Understanding that this is how we think, ladies. This is the mindset of a gentleman. This is how we think. We put the structure there because we want there to be a long-term, in our mind, long-term, that also is very synonymous and integrated with structure. Short-term, not that much structure. Definitely not that much. It can be connection, but for a long-term, you have to have, us guys, we think in our mindset, structure and connection, both have to be there. Let that ruminate for a little bit. But that's just the way our mindset works. So we get into the real shift that most men miss. And now here's where we have an opportunity to really start to evolve and change some things about our mindset. We want to make sure that we are amiable, friendly, yes. Absolutely. Aligned with structure, same value, same thought process, principles, absolutely, 100%. Identical roles, not too much. Not so much at all. Clear distinction. There's just a distinction. Again, neither one is bad. Some people may have a more liberal construction or a liberal structure that they have with their women, and some men may be a bit more, I wouldn't say draconian, but a little just bit more rigorous. And I believe that can maintain the opportunity for having a good long-term relationship. So here's an opportunity for understanding how comfort and mystery can set the stage for dissolution or dissolving the relationship. Comfort. Because if there's too much comfort set in and the respect is gone, then as guys, we feel some kind of way. We're like, this has changed quite a bit. I'm not liking this. This is getting on my nerves, right? Too much comfort. Again, you can't say anything I want to impress upon you women, you just can't say anything to a guy without him feeling disrespected. Us guys, we know this intrinsically. So when we are in front of each other, even when we first meet somebody, there's this level that we all know that we don't cross because we can get into moving furniture. It's just there. It's just there in us. It's innate. Nothing we can do about it. It's just there. And for guys, most gentlemen who will not be a pushover, that can really escalate quickly. Now, the gentleman, he's going to be more trying to subdue and or I should say mitigate the conflict resolution. But if it comes to the point of fisticuffs, they're going to stand their ground. They're not going to be a pushover, not going to capitulate, not simps either in terms of relationships. So trading mystery for comfort. So full access and comfort versus intentional positioning and intrigue. This is where us guys want to be. Intentional positioning, maintaining that level of intrigue, mystery, and understanding that is going to keep the desire and interest and attention. So most men collapse to the dynamic of giving away mystery in exchange for comfort. Most guys will do this. I've been guilty of this in the past also, especially with my first wife. When we first I got together, I didn't know what I know now. Here we are 30 some years later. I know a lot more, a whole lot more. That's why I feel compelled to share this and help guys integrate this into their life. Okay, so the difference between being approachable and being fully accessible. There's a difference there. We're talking about this in our coaching classes, even for the corporations or for the corporate arena coaching, talk about leadership, difference between being approachable and being fully accessible. One maintains intrigue, the other eliminates it for a relationship. Oversharing kills mystery, and mystery fuels attraction. You have to have that mystery there, guys. If you don't have the mystery there, then you're going to really, the women, unfortunately, they will get comfortable. It is what it is. There's nothing you can really do about it if you remove the mystery. Comfort's going to settle in anyway. There may be some checks and balances that happen along the way during the duration of the relationship on both sides. Sometimes men, we get too comfortable. The woman's like, okay, well, hold on. Got a little too comfortable there. And that's okay. I mean, it's okay to put people back in line. If someone gets off the track, try to put them back on the straight and narrow path. And again, this doesn't have to be draconian. It doesn't have to come across mean. It doesn't have to come across insensitive. It's a way of how you communicate. And that's what it's all about. If two people can come together and communicate appropriately, then they can have this structure. And this structure is the lover with structure, not best friend for a man. We don't want to be best friends with you. So if you're still with me thus far, go ahead and make sure you like the video, share it also, and then make sure you also follow us on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on TikTok. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, because I'll be positioning more information about how to relationship. Relationship is a skill. And they have these 12, we have this one graphic, 12 areas of blank. One of those bubbles was that 12 areas of blank, 12 areas of confidence. So the same 12 areas where you should show competence, same show areas where you have discipline, same show 12 areas where you should show or you should have or value added opportunities in those 12 bubbles. So one of those is relationship. And so I'm capitalizing on that. But we do not want to be best friends with our women. That is bad for a man. Friend zone bad. Lover zone good. Put it really simple for you. Friend zone, most guys don't want to be in a friend zone. when it comes to romantic interest. That is a deterrent for us. And in fact, I suggest if you ever in that category and you still like the woman, but she does not give you that same energy, depart, leave, create distance immediately. Even if you want to tell her, you know what, I have a romantic interest in you. I understand you're not there right now, but since we're not there on the same page, we're not gonna hang out. Because most of the time when you hang out, guess what? You're gonna feel compelled to pay for the dinner. You're gonna feel compelled, she may expect it. You still get these gentlemen, you still get the gentleman treatment. I should say she still get the wife, girlfriend treatment, even though you're not together. I don't condone that at all. Should never do that. So I want to leave you with this here. You don't build attraction by becoming the same. You sustain it by staying different, staying distinct. This is going to keep the attraction, guys. This is going to keep the attraction, ladies. Guys, we want to be with feminine women. Women, most likely, they express they want to be with the masculine man. That's what the initial attractors are. Most guys are a sucker for a feminine, sweet woman. Okay, cool, all good. We like that. Is that when the lines get blurred and the guy becomes more feminine, gentlemen don't do that. The woman becomes more masculine, ladies don't do that. You have to have these clear, distinct opportunities for our natural role, masculine, feminine, okay? We're the protectors. We understand that, and making sure that we have the opportunity to facilitate the right thought process and mindset. So here's the question I have for you. The real question becomes, are you leading the relationship or are you blending into it? Blending into it meaning you're starting to become the friend in the relationship. And sooner or later, if that sustains over an extended period of time, guess what? Now you're just living with your roommate. The sexual relationship may die down. The disrespect may totally subside. And now you have officially been instituted and categorized as a friend, or even sometimes even worse, an enemy. So stop operating of outdated device. If you're ready to grow in your relationship, do follow us on our platforms. Gentlemen, join our private Facebook group we have on Facebook. It's a group called the League of Prestigious Gentlemen. Type that in. You'll see the movement, LPG, the movement. That is our group. We do also have a page where men and women can like the page. Other information there. The private information, we keep that private conversation as it is. We also have a podcast, MVP podcast on Spotify and all the other places where you can stream audio, but also make sure you follow us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. All right, folks, Grandis and Shine signing out until next time. Talk to you later. Bye.